All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the HSS channel. HSS stands for Home Studio Simplified. If you did not know that, now you do. So I want to say a big shout out to DJ Big Red 81, who was the first to comment today. And he says he's hoping I'm doing well. Figured you could use a coffee. Could always use coffee, yes. And good morning to Ben Grauer from Cleveland, Ohio. Special shout out to 𝗶𝗶𝘆, who happens to be the most awesome son in the entire world. And yeah, so today's episode is going to be a mix together of the September Song Contest. We had an awesome turnout for the September Song Contest, by the way. A lot of individuals posted a lot of good songs. So this was very hard to pick a winner, as usual. It keeps getting harder every single time. So I'll kind of go over why I chose this song over the others. And typically speaking, around here, it's not the best song, so to speak, sonically, that sounds the best, or the most professionally produced song, or, you know, the one that's just, everything is just perfect. Although that would be, in most instances, on most channels, that would be the one that would win. This one is a little bit different in the sense that the subscribers and the community around here started, after a while, they started saying, you know, why don't you pick one that would be sort of complicated for you to tackle, or one that you could showcase some kind of certain aspect, some sort of tip or trick that you could share within that mix that would help everybody. And so that's what I've been trying to do around here anyway, is create a community of individuals who are like-minded audio lovers, but also want to help individuals. And so evidently something I'm doing around here is actually working. We just got a lot of awesome people who all the time are throwing out some great suggestions and are just willing to help individuals. And so that's why this song was picked. Also, it has a lot of emotion in it. And if you've been around on the channel long enough, you know that I'm very big on songs that have emotion, because that's, typically speaking, that's the songs that we feel gravitated to the most. And so when I'm, you know, teaching music production, or I'm teaching building production elements within a mix, I'm always, the end game is always, what kind of an emotional reaction are we going to be able to give to the audience? Sometimes, you know, it doesn't have to be the main point, but I mean, if you write a song that's happy, you want people to smile. If you write a song that's sort of sad and, you know, talking about something that's happened in your life, that's sort of a dark moment, then you want them to feel that emotion. And 9 times out of 10, when a good artist writes a song, they write that emotion into the lyrics. So this is what happened with this particular song we'll be working with today. Barry Fitzgerald's Why Did You Have to Go? Before we get into that, 𝗪𝗀𝗃𝗃 just hopped on, and so did Tim Consley. Good to see you guys. Some staples around on the channel. Oh yeah, 𝗪𝗃, I keep forgetting where these individuals are from sometimes. 𝗪𝗃 is from northern Canada. Wow. So good morning or afternoon or evening. It's morning here. Yeah, so it's afternoon here. We're looking at 12 p.m. in the afternoon here. All right, so before we dive into this, if you just stumbled across the channel, maybe you're in the chat kind of lurking and you haven't commented yet, or maybe you're coming back to this video later and this is your first time stumbling across this, you're wondering what is this all about? Basically, this channel exists to simplify the complexities of the home studio and to help you make professional sounding music in a less than professional space. The motto around here is that we can dream alone, we can even create alone, but together we can achieve so much more. And so this is literally just all about dreaming, creating, and achieving things together. All right. Now, before we get into even the rest of this, I also need to let you know that we have a 10,000 subscriber giveaway. So with that being said, if you want to hop on board and put your name in the hat, so to speak, to win some awesome plugins from these amazing companies who have reached out and helped to sponsor our 10,000 subscriber party that we're going to have, which is going to be on November 3rd, by the way. Yeah, definitely check out the link below. Get involved in this. It's super simple. The only major stipulation is that you have to be a subscriber to the channel to win. But other than that, there's just, once you follow that link, you'll see like a series. It's just like your typical giveaway. there's a series of actions that you need to go through and things that you might need to do in order to get more entries, so to speak, in the hat. But if you just want to sign up and just subscribe to the channel only, that will still get you in the gate as well. So however, you're going to increase your odds by the more things that you do. And this one has something built in that not a lot of other of my giveaways has, and that is the more you share it with friends and family. If they click on that link and then they follow at least one of those actions, you get like 10 more entries. So it's crazy. The more you share it, the more viral it goes, so to speak, the more opportunity you have to win. Sound cool? I think it does. Free plugins are always awesome. All right, let's talk about some of our chart toppers. These are individuals who have, over the past course of this channel, helped to keep the lights on, so to speak. These are some awesome individuals who have helped to, in one way, shape, or form, sponsor this channel to give it wings. And these individuals up here with the stars next to their names, these are top contributors. So these are individuals who have given the most or are currently giving the most. And then you'll see underneath of these, you have our Patreon members as well as our YouTube membership members. If you're interested in joining, getting some free stuff, we've got tons of multi-tracks. We've got all of the Michael Jackson multi-tracks that we've done here. We've got EQ cheat sheets. We've got Cakewalk by BandLab tutorials. We've got all kinds of cool stuff you can get your hands on if you become a Patreon member, and that's only at $1 a month. You can get most of those things. I think it's at $5 a month where it unlocks the most. If you want to go over there and check that out, though, the link is in the description for that as well. In fact, if you just click on the giveaway link or you click on the song contest entry link, it's going to take you straight to a page that will show you all of the Patreon information as well as the YouTube membership information. But thank you all so much. The chart toppers are what's keeping this channel going. So thank you guys. You all rock. Love each and every one of you. And as far as keeping things going as well, let's give a huge shout out to our sponsor. Today's video is sponsored in part by the 𝗶𝘃 Academy. The 𝗶𝘃 Academy offers affordable courses from mentors, world-class engineers, Grammy winners, and multi-platinum selling producers. And with the resources available on the 𝗶𝘃 Academy, you can learn how to create radio-ready mixes from the comfort of your own home studio. Most of the courses also offer multi-tracks that you can then add to your portfolio and begin to build out your business. Follow the link in the description of this video to head on over to the 𝗶𝘃 Academy today and start learning the skills that are needed to take your hobby or your business to the next level. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are again with another great mix, and I've already got it all loaded up. And to be honest, I've got a lot of sort of the tedious stuff that we do at the beginning of every mix already done, as this is not necessarily a tutorial of how to set up a mix, but more how to mix. And I noticed in times past, I've kind of spent more time setting it up than I have actually mixing. So now if you want to check out some of the tutorials that I have here on the channel, some of the other live mixing sessions, I actually go through all of that, setting up the mix, setting up the buses, setting up the sends and all of that. But this time around, this is going to be sort of a quick and dirty way of just jumping right on it and just having a good time with it. So this is a rather small track count for the things that we've mixed here on the channel before. So we've had as much as 40 something tracks. In fact, there was one song, it was a personal song that I had done that I think was 60 something tracks that we've done here on the channel. This one is 6. So this is not going to require a whole lot. The beauty of this song is that it doesn't need a whole lot. The lyrics sort of speak for themselves. And the music itself, I think there's a few production elements that I would have added maybe to make this a little bit more produced sounding. But at the same time, it just simply works. Like the way that it's structured, it just works. So we're going to go through here and I'm going to show you kind of what I was starting with. And then we will kind of go from that. So first things first, let me pull up the console view because I want to make sure. Okay. So I'm going to shut off all of these sends. These are just sends to the reverbs that I've got set up. And I'm also going to shut off all of the plugins. Oops, that was telling me I want to move it. Okay. Don't necessarily have to shut off the plugins on the reverb channels because there's nothing going to them now. So this is sort of what I was starting with.
I bought you flowers yesterday. Got on my knees, began to pray. It's been 4 years now to the day. Why did you have to go away? Still have your pictures on the wall.
Not really too bad to start out with at all. In fact, I was really impressed by the acoustic guitar recording. It sounded really good. In fact, I'd like to reach out to Barry Fitzgerald and just kind of, if he wouldn't mind, I'd like to just do sort of a breakdown of this, have him tell us exactly how he recorded this or where he recorded it. And I think it'd be cool to kind of see the back end of this song. In fact, you know, a lot of the winners that win here, I think it would be cool really to see the back end of their songs. I'm sorry, I should have shut off. I should have shut off my phone here, or at least put it on silent. It's going crazy over here. Okay. Now with that being said, so yeah, not a bad starting point at all. Let's slowly start adding in some of the stuff that I've done to change it, and I'll explain it and why I did it, what I did as we go. So the first thing that I did is obviously I applied some EQ to the acoustic guitars. So let's go ahead and solo those out first. I also added some console emulation on these acoustic guitars. So what I noticed was, for some of the acoustic, it seemed like the A-type console emulation actually sounded a little bit better. It sort of saturated it a little bit differently. And so I used A-type on some and S-type on some, just sort of interwoven, intermixed. That's the beauty of digital audio workstations, okay? Instead of having to run everything through one console, like just run through that one Neve console, you can say, okay, I'm going to run some through a Neve and some through an API and some through a, you know what I mean? Very cool. So let's go ahead and take a listen to what that added, as well as the EQ. And all that did was just sort of clean up some low end and clean up a little bit of rumble, as well as carve out some area for that guitar to make it a little more, have a little more sheen. I did notice immediately, I'm going to go ahead and drop down that high pass filter a little bit lower though, because it doesn't have a bass guitar in here. We can actually go lower than what we normally would and actually take advantage of some of that bass. Much better. So this here is the main acoustic guitar, by the way. This is the one that really drives the song. We have these other acoustic guitars that come in here momentarily, but with the S-type console emulation on there, that little bit of EQ work, I could have stopped right there, honestly, and it would have been fine. However, I went ahead and added an instance of Soothe 2. As you can see, it's not really doing too much. All it's doing is just taking out some offending frequencies that might be sort of masking things. If I bypass it and I put it back in, you're going to notice immediately, like, you're going to be like, wow, there's really not too much of a difference here. But so if you have headphones on, it's especially, it just takes out like a little nasal nasally honky sound. So nothing too major going on there. The next thing I did is I went ahead and I added some Reverb Sends. And I sent them to these reverb buses. And I'm just simply using stock plugins, the Sonitus Reverb. Didn't use anything crazy. And I did this specifically just to showcase the fact too that you don't have to have, you know, $500 reverb plugins. It's not necessary. Sorry, I was looking at the chat, making sure I wasn't missing anything here. But yeah, with just those few additions there, you can see no major movements being made. When it's well recorded, you shouldn't have to do much anyway. And this guitar really was well recorded. So now we're going to start inputting some of these reverbs. Now remember, the reverb itself, it's imperative to mention this, the reverb itself, the timing of that reverb. Okay, so you see a decay time of 0.3 seconds. This is my short reverb. Now, the way that you get that time, and we've discussed this several times here on the channel, is I've actually used a Reverb Calculator. And I have that here on my website. I'll bring that up right now. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about. So this here is the reverb and delay calculator here on the website. So all you simply have to do is just click that and you can enter in your BPMs here. And I got the average BPM from a plugin. I just simply played the guitar track and then I used the Hornet Song MK2 here. And this just tells you your average BPMs, what key the song is in and what chord is currently playing. Super cool. Super cool. So I used that to get the average BPMs of that guitar track. And then I took whatever the average BPMs was, and then I simply just input that into here. All right, so let's say it was 120. I could input that into here. Let me zoom in here. Input that into here and then hit, well, here, hold on. Let me make sure that you can actually see that because I realize my mug is in the way here. There we go. Okay, so I input that into here and hit calculate. That tells me that an average duration is 500 milliseconds. Okay, so with that being said, if it was 1000 milliseconds, then that would equal 1 second. But in this instance, it's a half a second. So in this particular case, what I would do then is I would take that, divide it by 2, and that would be my short. Leave it at that number for my medium, double that number for my long. Make sense? And the reason why you would do that is because reverb is a time-based effect. And so with any time-based effect, much like delays or anything like that, if the timing is off, you notice it immediately. Now, because reverb is a time-based effect, if it's not set properly, your reverb tails will actually migrate into the next phrase. So what you want them to do is you want them to drop off before that next phrase starts. And the best way to do that is with the timing adjustments. Okay? James Antoine, I think he's a newcomer. Let's give him a big round of applause. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and start implementing some of these reverbs now so you can hear what difference that they make. Oops, I'm still on the wrong. There we go. So here's the short verb. Nothing too crazy, just enough to kind of, you'll notice it opened it up just a little bit. Here's the medium. Just enough to open it up a little bit more, make it sound a little more realistic, a little more 3D. And here's the long. Okay, so let's hear that before and after. So here is, I'm going to bypass all of the effects using this global effects bypass here. Okay. And then what I want you to do is just listen to that guitar before and after. So right now we'll take it. This is with no effects whatsoever. And with the effects. So all it simply did was just clean it up a little bit more, take out some of those offending frequencies that just weren't settling quite right in my ears, and then basically we just riffed off of that and made what I think is a really great, what was already a well-recorded acoustic guitar track, just made it sound a whole lot better. Okay, next up is the secondary guitars that come in. These are sort of like, if I had to categorize them, they're sort of like Simon and Garfunkel style, like harmony guitars. So let's give them a listen. Beautiful guitar work. So in and of themselves, by themselves, as it stands right now, it does not sound bad at all. In fact, I mean, I could have just left it like that. And you can see here I'm using the A-type console emulation on these. Let me go ahead and get my head out of the way because it seems like it's just getting in the way more than anything. And then really that's a little bit of EQ. And of course I EQ'd them differently than I did the other. And then all of this is still being sent somewhere else. So it's all being sent to the acoustic guitar bus, which is over here. Okay. And then all of it globally is being EQ'd just a little bit differently as well. So if we put that back in, that's just gorgeous. And so that little bit of EQ there was just to sort of tame any more of the honkiness. And I also brought up the about around 250 hertz is sort of like that woody sound that you get on a guitar. And so I was able to just sort of bring up that little bit of that woody sound. Okay, now we're going to start implementing some plugins though that I feel like really took these to the next level. All right. The next one that we're going to implement is the 𝗁𝗏. Now this is on the bus because I've sent all of the guitars there. And what I've noticed is you can have the 𝗁𝗏 3 different instances on each one of the tracks and it'll do just fine. But I think where it really shines is when you send multiple instances of the same type of instrument to it. It just seems like it just really just does more than what it does by itself. So let's check it out. I'll wait till the acoustic comes in. Here we go. So I'll bypass it. Turn it back on. Now what you'll notice immediately, and this is why I love this plugin, what you'll notice immediately is without damaging the sonic structure, without damaging any of the frequencies that these guitars are putting out, without causing them to sound weird, it's just removing like frequencies that are sort of like, I'm trying to find it. It's just like removing the fog is the best way to put it between the guitars. It almost just separates them so perfectly that it just sounds, and it sounds so natural that it's just like immediately you've stepped. Well, take this analogy, okay? This is what it sounds like if you were standing outside the room. So the door's open, you're standing outside the room in the hallway, right? You walk into the room. Now it's all opened up. There's nothing hindering what you need to hear. beautiful. Now, I very well could have stopped here. I've got them all running through the AE style console emulation. This is the console. This console emulator here, you'll notice, is different from the console emulators here. That's because these are channel console emulations. These are bus console emulations. It's imperative to use the right one for the right job. Now, a lot of people have said that even according to cakewalk lore of ancient times, that the console emulation is supposed to be at the top. However, I have always set it at the bottom with I've not had any issues with putting it at the bottom. My reasoning for that is I want everything in this chain to run last through that console emulation. So, hey, we got another newcomer, Reverbs 3. Good to have you. So immediately we notice that there is, yes, a huge difference. Now, like I said, I could have stopped here, but I didn't. I actually added, oh yes, and as for the panning, sorry, I guess I should have mentioned that. As for the panning, the sort of harmony guitars that I just spoke of, one is panned hard right, one is panned hard left, like 100%. Okay. So, and I haven't even instituted the reverbs on these yet. So check this out. Let's add some short reverb to them. A little medium reverb to them. And here's the long. Okay, so now we got all of the Reverb Sends, and yes, these are panned hard left, hard right. The sends as well as the tracks. And then last but not least, sort of a little icing on the cake, is the 𝗵𝗃5 compressor. What you're going to notice is this is where they not only get their volume, but they get just a little bit of saturation. So check this out. Before and after. Not hitting it too hard. 3-to-1 ratio. Barely getting 2, sometimes 3 dBs of gain reduction. Slow attack, fast release. That all together, you have a beautiful acoustic guitar sound going on here. All right, so now we're going to start bringing in some different elements of this. I'll show you exactly what I did with those. The next element that seems to come up here, now in the original mix that was posted to the channel, it wasn't really showcased as well as what I thought it could have been, and that was the strings. I heard them, but I didn't hear them. The strings are a tricky instrument. Coffee break. Strings are a tricky instrument in the sense that you want to hear them, but you don't want to hear them. It's sort of a catch-22. Like, you want to know that they're there, and sometimes it's one of those things that is immediately, as soon as they're gone, you're like, whoa, what just happened? I didn't hear them until they were gone. That's sort of what you want to do with strings. Now, unless it's like a predominant, a build, they're using something, or if it's orchestral music, obviously you want to hear the strings. In this instance, though, they need to be buried in the background enough to not be the center of attention, but they need to be there enough to support the remaining tracks that are left. I'm going to take my mug off the screen again. That's driving me nuts. Okay. So let's bring in these strings. I'll show you what I did with these. Right now, nothing being done to them. I'll slowly start implementing things. They're running through the A-type console compression. So that's typical of an API. It's sort of driving that console emulation a little harder. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start implementing, putting on these effects as we go. So when I hit this is going to be the Pro channel. It's going to be basically this EQ and the API, the console emulation. And then we'll start implementing the sends. And that's really all that I've done to this. Okay. Sorry, it doesn't even come in until here. There we go. Okay, so as it stands right now, that's just it. They're there, but they're not there. You know what I mean? I want to be able to hear them, but yet again, not hear them. I know that sounds so weird. So I'm going to go ahead and loop this section, and I'll start implementing the changes that I made. EQ. Reverb. Short. Medium, and long. Now, another key aspect of this is the fact that the EQ that I'm using here, I've got a 2 dB boost. It's actually a shelf boost. So it's boosting everything above 6,000 kilohertz. Okay. Or 6639 if you want to be exact. But the main thing is that at the 3,000 kilohertz range, I've dipped it down by about 1.6. Now what this is going to do is this is going to allow the vocals to cut through as well as the acoustic guitars to cut through, but still you'll hear the intrinsic fundamental elements of those strings. This is also another key component when mixing background vocals. This taking 3,000 kilohertz out, immediately the background vocals just sort of sink back just enough to sound like background vocals, and they're not trying to take over a mix anymore. Okay, let's check this out. Now watch what happens when I remove this. See how it starts to sort of combat with the guitar? Put it back in. In fact, I could probably take some more out. Beautiful. Okay, so now on to the star of the show. That's right, these vocals. Now these vocals are very unique. It's one of the main reasons I love this song too, is it just, the vocalist really sold the emotion. So let's go all the way back to the beginning. We'll take this loop off of here. Just hit the L button to undo that. And we'll start by just listening to the lead vocal. And then I'll show you what I've done to sort of accentuate that. So this is the vocal as it stands now.
I bought you flowers yesterday. Got on my knees, began to pray. It's been 4 years now to the day.
Okay, now let's start implementing slowly some of these effects. So the first thing I did is I implemented this here, Pro Channel Strip. Got the Quad Curve EQ going on. Not a whole lot of stuff going on here. Yet again, the vocals were actually recorded very well as well. It was very impressive. Ran these through an API style compressor or console emulation. And yeah, just literally bumped up about 195 just to sort of give it some more presence. And bumped out or took out about 1 dB around 564 to remove some of that woolly muddiness type stuff. So I don't know what else to call it. Woolly is usually a good term though. Most people know what woolly means. So with that being said, we had a small boost as well, a shelf boost at 4,000 kilohertz, 4674 to be exact. And so let's start going ahead and getting into what else we did here. So in and of itself, this is the after effect of just the EQ.
I bought you flowers yesterday. Got on my knees, began to pray.
VX64.
It's been 4 years now to the day. Why did you have to go away? Still have your pictures on the wall. Still hear your footsteps in the hall. It's been so long since you've been gone. I know I have to carry on. And I cried the day the light went from your eyes. Yes, I cried.
Seems like that automation lane is off a little bit. We'll fix that here in a minute. And then the next instance of Soothe 2, and this was just to clean up the vocal, little bit of de-essing as well as some honkiness in the low end. I'm sorry, I'll just move this straight to the vocal.
I bought you flowers yesterday. Got on my knees, began to pray. It's been 4 years now to the day.
My new favorite compressor.
Why did you have to go away? Still have your pictures on the wall. Still hear your footsteps in the hall. It's been so long since you've been gone. I know I have to carry on. And I cried the day the light went from your eyes.
Okay. It would be also notable to mention that I did do just a little bit of vocal tuning, not too much, because it didn't really lend itself to a lot of vocal tuning. Not that he was perfectly in pitch, but I also don't want to destroy the emotion yet again. So I left some of those pitchy elements in there purposely. There's nothing wrong with that. It just shows humanity, and God knows we all need more humanity these days with all the technology taking over and AI robots and impending doom. So let's go ahead and throw on the little plate. This is the only reverb that I put on this just simply because it didn't need a whole lot of anything else. So let's check this before and after. So this is before the little plate was enabled.
I bought you flowers yesterday.
And after.
Got on my knees, began to pray. It's been 4 years now to the day. Why did you have to go away? Still have your pictures on the wall. Still hear your footsteps in the hall.
Okay, so this is exactly what I was talking about earlier when I talked about setting up your reverbs in time with the music. Now, if you'll notice, the plate reverb, I've got it actually set a little bit higher than what a typical plate would be, but I was using it more for an effect. You'll notice that it fades out right as soon as that next phrase begins. Take a listen. I'll turn it up so we can sort of accentuate this.
I bought you flowers yesterday. Got on my knees, began to pray. It's been 4 years now to the day. Why did you have to go away? Still have your pictures on the wall. Still hear your footsteps in the hall.
Okay, so now to accentuate that lead vocal, what is up, Mob the Gamer? Ladies and gentlemen, Mob the Gamer has entered the chat. Okay, so wasn't expecting that one, was you, buddy? All right, so the next thing we're going to do to accentuate these vocals is to typically a lot of channels, including one of my favorite, 𝗏𝗏 fanboy. He did this thing where he was called a vocal thickening trick, and the Bob Ross of mixing. Ooh, I love that. I love that, dude. That is like one of the greatest compliments I've had in a long time. I appreciate that. So for that, you're definitely going to get one of these. Oh yeah, I love Bob Ross anyway. In fact, me and my son sit down and watch him sometimes just to relax and paint, but mainly just relax because we can't paint. Anyway, so with that being said, 𝗏𝗏 did this thing called the vocal thickening trick. A lot of people have tried to redo videos on it and have honestly butchered his methods. In fact, they've caused more problems than what they have done helping. One individual, I won't mention any names, but he does a lot of cakewalk tutorials. He did a video similar to his, and there was a lot of stuff that he did in there that was actually going to harm the vocal more than it was going to help. But in the end, whatever. Okay. In the end, it is what it is. However, in this instance, one thing that I like to do is just create an exact duplicate. In Cakewalk, it's super easy. You just highlight the track, you hold Control and Shift, and you just click and drag that track down. By holding Shift, it makes sure that you can't move it from left to right. And then whenever you drag that track down, it's perfectly in time with the one that you've just copied it from. If you just hold Control and drag it, you can move it, and then it might get out of time. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad. So with that being said, I just clicked and dragged this and did what Cakewalk does awesome, and just went with it. So by creating this one single track, though, I eliminate a lot of the phase issues that might come from something where, in fact, I just looked at something as I'm saying this. Yeah, so this is perfectly in phase because of that. So now if I was to invert that, it would be out of phase. And because it's a completely copied track, listen.
Bought you flowers yesterday. Got on my knees, began to pray.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a difference there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I've done to accentuate these vocals. And all I've done is I've created a copy of the track. And then I'm going to add an instance of 𝗏𝗏. Love this plugin for stuff like this. And I always just typically go with the rich fifths. My wife is blowing my phone up. Love you. Good old speech to text. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and enable it, and we'll just solo this track out so you can hear it first.
I bought you flowers yesterday. Got on my knees, began to pray.
Now, in and of itself, yes, that sounds like junk. However, when you blend this into the lead vocal in context with the rest of the mix, it just thickens it up and allows it to set on top. And rather than creating 6 different vocal tracks and pitching them up and pitching them down, this seems to work for me. and it's just a lot quicker. Now, there are other plugins out there that will do pitch shifting informant's like this. In fact, one of the free ones that I'm thinking of right now is the, what is that called? I might even have it in here. Yeah, 𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗏. And they do have a free version of this. This will allow you, though, to do sort of a similar thing here. You can format shift it here. So, with that being said, it also works kind of like an auto tune, but not quite so crazy, but you can make it crazy. So, let's listen to this being blended into the lead vocal. What's up, Chris Knowles? We got another rock steady in the mix. Yeah. So let's sort of blend this in here, and you'll kind of hear the major difference that this makes. And it doesn't have to be like over the top. It's just enough to, I don't know how to explain it, but as soon as you hear it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Go ahead, put my camera back on here, so you guys will know I'm not sitting here in my underwear. Or am I? Anywho.
I bought you flowers yesterday.
Slowly start blending this in.
Got on my knees, began to pray. It's been 4 years now to the day. Why did you have to go away? Still have your pictures on the wall.
So I'm blending it in very, very little bit, negative 10 dBs in fact, and it's doing exactly what it needs to do. Yes, blend in with the tone. Exactly. So another thing that you'll notice, and I've been doing this here lately, and a lot of people have kind of been asking me, I didn't enable the Pro channel strip, so that's going to make a difference as well.
I bought you flowers yesterday.
So this is all I'm adding in.
Got on my knees, began to pray.
But it's enough to bring it up.
It's been 4 years now to the day. Why did you have to go away?
Just makes the set on top so much better.
Still have your pictures on the wall. Still hear your footsteps in the hall.
In fact, if I want to take this a step further,
it's been so long since you've been gone. I know I have to carry on. And I cried the day the light went from your eyes.
I'll add some reverb to this.
I cried myself to sleep. I've watched the boys grow into men.
1 second here.
I bought you flowers yesterday. Got on my knees, began to pray. It's been 4 years now to the day.
Awesome.
Why did you have to go away? Still have your pictures on the wall. Still hear your footsteps in the hall. It's been so long since you've been gone. I know I have to carry on. And I cried the day the light went from your eyes. Yes, I cried myself to sleep.
I'm going to roll up the high pass filter a little bit on those blended in.
I've watched the boys grow into men. I know you'd be so proud of them. They miss you each and every day. Why did you have to go away?
All right, so some icing on the cake here.
And I cried
The drummer S73.
the day the light went from your eyes.
It's currently not enabled. Let's enable
Yes,
that now.
I cried myself to sleep. the last time that I held you, I had so much more to tell you. And I kissed your cheeks so lightly and held your hand so tight to let you know I love you so. We're in the mountains that you love. I know you're watching from above.
Okay, so on this one here, the Drummer S73, absolutely love this thing. Ever since I got it, I've been using it on every single mix. Not just saying that, not sponsored yet, but I might be after I keep selling these things. But with that being said, I've got it set to a 60% amount, and that's sort of a relative amount too. It's not like, it depends. It's an intelligent mastering processor in the sense that it takes the incoming signal and intelligently tells it how it needs to compress. And then the air I've got turned on. All that simply does is just add air. And then I've actually got this set to a spatial wide mix setting. And I've got that mix because I love the fact that you can mix this in. It's sort of like parallel processing. If you set it to 100% wet, it just doesn't have quite the same.
I bought you flowers yesterday.
It's almost too much.
Got on
Set it
my
to
knees,
50%.
began to pray.
It's just right.
It's been 4 years now to the day. Why did you have to go away?
Beautiful.
Still have your pictures on the wall.
So one other thing that I might do to this, that I haven't currently done, but it just sort of hit me whenever I seen Krista's comment about this sounding like a 70s style singer-songwriter, I might just add some tape emulation just to see if we can't get sort of that sound.
I bought you flowers yesterday. Got on my knees, began to pray. It's been 4 years now to the... I bought you flowers yesterday. Got on my knees, began to pray. It's been 4 years now to the day.
I like that.
Why did you have to go away? Still have your pictures on the wall. Still hear your footsteps in the hall. It's been so long since you've been gone. I know I have to carry on. And I cried the day the light went from your eyes.
This song is absolutely gorgeous. So next thing in this chain, I've got my T-Rex 5 metering here. We don't necessarily need to see that, but
I bought you flowers yesterday. Got on my knees, began to pray. It's been 4 years now to the day.
so the next thing that I would do to this is try to get it up to industry standard loudness. Now, typically speaking, what I always will use, as if you've watched this channel long enough, you know I always use the T-Rex 1 mastering processor. This is definitely not a song where I feel like that's going to require that. Now, although you don't have to push the mastering processor and it can get kind of a clean sound, in this instance, I want the most transparent limiter that I possibly can get. And so what I'm going to use is the adaptive limiter. So this was included in Cakewalk's Sonar Platinum back in the day. And I'm going to set the ceiling to negative 0.3 dBs. This is industry standard yet again. And then I'll just lower that threshold until I get this up to industry standard loudnesses.
I bought you flowers yesterday. Got on my knees, began to pray. It's been 4 years now to the day. Why did you have to go away? Still have your pictures on the wall. Still hear your footsteps in the hall. It's been so long since you've been gone. I know I have to carry on. And I cry cried the day the light went from your eyes. Yes, I cried myself to sleep. I've watched the boys grow into men. I know you'd be so proud of them. They miss you each and every day. Why did you have to go away? And I cried the day the light went from your eyes. Yes, I cried myself to sleep. And the last time that I held you, I had so much more to tell you.
Okay, so the beauty of that little thing that I just did there is this waveform preview allows you to see how much you're actually smashing that master. And what I loved about this was as I hit that and you play the song, it gives you a readout of it. You can see there's still plenty of dynamics left in this song itself, even in the loudest parts.
I bought you flowers yesterday. Got on my knees, began to pray. It's been 4 years now to the day. Why did you have to go away? Still have your pictures on the wall.
So I'm going to go to the loudest part of this.
And the last time that I held you, I had so much more to tell you.
You can see like all the peaks are not
And I
squashed.
kissed your cheeks so lightly and held your hand so tight to let you know I love you so. We're in the mountains that you love. I know you're watching from above. I wish you could be here today.
Awesome. So I think that's a really good indication that we're not completely killing the song itself, but we're just accentuating and bringing out the mix as a whole and just raising up the whole sonic structure as far as loudness is concerned. Now, one thing that I want to do is I want to check out this. Okay, so I've got the VX64 vocal strip. I've got a automation set here. And what I noticed is it's not working like it should because it's actually coming on late. I thought there for a minute maybe it was backwards, but it looks like it's fine. It's just not coming in when it's supposed to. What I did this for is I wanted the delay to come on at the end of these phrases. So check this out.
I bought you flowers yesterday.
What we should hear.
I bought you flowers yesterday.
It's very, very subtle, so I'm going to turn that up a little bit more.
I bought you flowers yesterday.
Okay.
To pray.
Yeah, see, it's coming in a little later than what I thought. No big deal. Just come over here and slide these all over. Just a tad. Good thing is with a song like this, it's not really too hard to do because of the fact that it's and as I say that, I have complications. It's not because of not because of that. It's because of this whole thing is like wanting to move all of a sudden. Sometimes it can be a little tricky. Especially if you want like a certain sound. Now, granted, there's plugins that can do this seamlessly.
Why did you have to go away? Still have your pictures on the wall. Still hear your footsteps in the hall.
Okay, so that sounds a little bit better. That's the sound I was going for, was just a little bit of a roll-off sort of delay. It wasn't like a crazy, overpowering, up-in-your-face pop-style delay, but more of like a singer-songwriter, just something to give it a little bit more interest. So, see, there it goes again. I want to move all of them at once. In fact, this might be better to just do automation. Like on the fly, like write it as it's playing, type automation. So as you can see here, what I'm doing is moving every one of them at once. That's really aggravating me right now. What's funny is like I've done this a million times and that hardly ever happens when I'm doing it off of camera. Okay, and then there's some of these times, and one of the reasons, like Chris is saying here, he's wanting to push it out to a whole note. That might be good in some instances, yes. But there's also portions of the song where I actually have it playing the whole time, so it's enabled the whole time.
Yes, I cried myself to sleep.
And in those instances, it's mainly like, I guess you would call it, it's sort of a chorus, although the song sounds like it's just sort of a continuation. If I brought it up to a full note during that, it would probably get way too busy. And much like with the strings, like we talked about earlier, how the strings need to be there but not there, which obviously they're more present now. Actually, I might go back and turn them down a little. But with that being said, delay is another thing where you want it there unless, you know, if it's a stylistic thing, especially in pop music, sometimes you specifically want to hear that delay. In instances like this, it just needs to sort of reside somewhere in the background. It's not really the star of the show, so to speak. All right. I think the rest of these aren't looking too bad. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the tedious processing of automation. The part that's not cool or fun looking, that no one wants to really do because it's not fun. Okay. Luckily, this song was very short, so. Whew. All right, that should sound a lot better.
I bought you flowers yesterday. Got on my knees, began to pray. It's been 4 years now to the day. Why did you have to go away? Still have your pictures on the wall.
So we'll do sort of a listen through here.
Still hear your footsteps in the hall. It's been so long since you've been gone. I know I have to carry on. And I cried the day the light went from your eyes. Yes, I cried myself to sleep. I've watched the boys grow into men. I know you'd be so proud of them. They miss you each and every day.
Alright, let's hear these
Why
strings.
did you have to go away? And I cried the day the light went from your eyes. Yes, I cried myself to sleep. And the last time that I held you, I had so much more to tell you. And I kissed your cheeks so lightly and held your hand so tight to let you know I love you so. We're in the mountains that you love. I know you're watching from above. I wish you could be here today. Why did you have to go away? Why did you have to go away?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we can call her done. Super simple, easy to mix because the source material was excellent. That always helps. But yeah, as you can see, there wasn't a whole lot that I'd done here that you couldn't do in your own home studio on your own projects. It really comes down to source material. How well has it been recorded? What kind of thought went into the arrangements, stuff like that. A lot of these plugins that I'm using here are stock. Some of them aren't. Don't get me wrong, but they could still be done with stock plugins. You know, this compressor, this could be done with a stock compressor that's found within Cakewalk, coupled with a little bit of the some sort of a free or a paid-for version, even if you have to get a smaller paid-for version of some kind of distortion plugin, just a little bit of grit added into it. The little plate, that could be done with the Sonotest reverb. The little 𝗚𝗏, I already gave you an instance where that could be done. Now with Soothe, there's not a lot of things on the market that can do what Soothe can do, other than maybe 𝗏𝗏 is kind of a close second. But with that being said, you can still, you know, EQ things to sound like exactly what Soothe is doing. And all that is really just doing is just cleaning up EQ areas that maybe I had missed. And it just, the reason why you buy the, let me just kind of break this down. Okay, guys, let me break this down for you. The reason why you buy these expensive plugins is not to sound like X, Y, and Z mixer. The reason why I get these plugins is not so I can sound like Chris Lord-Alge, not so I can sound like Warren Huart, not so I can sound like blah, 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 you name it. The entire purpose and the reason why these plugins sell so much are to two different markets. There are the, this is not to degrade anybody, but just pointing out the obvious. There's the newbies who want to get a sound fast. And they think that if they buy said plugin that, you know, Reed Shippen uses or Warren Huart uses, that they're going to sound just, all of their mixes are going to amazingly, just all right out of the box sound just like their mixes. Plugin companies, for the most part, they don't mean to, but sometimes they do. I don't know. Waves plugins, I think, sometimes does. Yes, I'm hating on Waves again. Sorry. But these plugin companies don't mean to a lot of times, but sometimes they prey on individuals who don't have enough understanding. They think that one plugin is going to be the be-all, end-all, fix-it-all, fix-it-in-the-mix solution. And then you have the other market, which are individuals like myself who just want to get through mixes faster. And yes, I could have done all of this with stock plugins. I have done mixes before here on the channel with nothing but stock plugins, but it takes longer. And when you need to get 3 and 4 mixes done in a single day and you need to send them off to clients and work through revisions, getting a mix done fast is a lot better at the end of the day. Also, a lot of these plugins are just to help you get a song idea out and sounding like you want it faster. It's all about speed. So yes, you might spend $150, $200 up front for a plugin. You're thinking that's astronomical. But if you're saving hours every single time you mix or every single time you produce a song, it's exponentially paying for itself. That's the way that I see it. So with that being said, speaking of speed, let's talk a little bit more about speed. So by the way, leave a comment down below or leave a comment here in the chat. If you're just hopping on and you weren't here for the live stream, it's no harm, no foul. You can always still go back and learn from this. What tip, trick, technique, what, aha moment did you have from today's little venture that we just did on this mix? Now, if you're still here in the chat and you would like to leave a comment as well, let me know. Like, what was the thing that you learned today that you was like, wow, I never really had known about that, or maybe I didn't do it that same way, and now that makes more sense to me. What is it that you can walk away from today's stream and go, wow, I walked away with something nice? So let me know. And while you're chatting away and typing away, which I'm sure all of you are, we're going to go ahead and sort of switch gears. And I want to talk about something that we got a few here in the chat who have already been involved with this. But the doors are going to be closing soon. So I'm letting you know now. Awesome. I'm reading some of the comments. I'm letting you know now before the doors close, and I'm giving you an opportunity to get in before these doors close. And that is the Rocket Fuel Mixing Bundle. Okay. If you're not aware of what this is, basically this is a bundle pack of all of the tutorials that I currently own and are selling, which is already in and of itself worth more than what I'm selling this entire bundle for. But the whole premise of this is you don't just get a package of tutorials. What you're getting is also some group Skype sessions with individuals who are like-minded like you, and where I will actually get to sit down in that group setting. We get to flesh out all of your questions. We get to flesh out a song together. You end up with 2 songs at the most. At the most 1 song if you don't create one of your own, but 2 songs if you create one of your own, which is part of the homework of the Rocket Fuel Mixing Bundle individuals who sign up. But the whole purpose of this is to get you so hyper-focused on your music production that you can churn out songs. Yes, that's right. More than 1 every single month. Okay. And if you ever find yourself from time to time struggling with finding the time to produce your music with all the demands of life and, the wife, the kids, the job, I get it. I do the same thing. I'm going to show you a way though in this course, so to speak. It's actually a 3-month-long training session, where basically, I think it's 3 months. Month and a half, maybe. Anyway, it's a drawn out process that we don't just go through a one size fits all tip or trick. It's not buy this plugin. It's not do this. It's actually productive and actionable and applicable practical tips that you can take and apply to every single mix that you do from that point on. Okay. So what this is it's a bundle that is a tried and proven method. I've already tried this and we've proven that it works. It gets you more done when you sit down and do what you love. You learn everything that you need to know about music production. You actually end up making your own music. By the time this course is done, you'll have a song of your own, like I said. With that being said, yet again, I'm not selling another course. This is an opportunity for you to get results. So that's why there's the term rocket phrase is in the phrasing here. Secondarily, this is not a one-time use tip or trick. It's not a plugin that fixes your mix for you. It's not a one-off gimmick that only works for some. In fact, the structure of the entire bundle has been specifically engineered to give you practical applications that can be used over and over again to get amazing results. The best part is you won't be doing this on your own either. You'll be doing it with me personally and a group of other individuals who are serious about their music. So what sets this apart from other individuals who are selling similar just one-off courses is that this is not just a one-off course. This is a bundle of all of my courses, as well as 5 face-to-face video conferences where we will all sit down and talk through whatever issues you might be having. Here's the caveat. I'm only opening this up to 10 people at a time because I want to make sure that everyone that's in there has the most interaction. They can ask a question and get an answer same day. It's not going to be, one of those, unless it's something I can't answer. Sometimes that does happen. I don't know everything and never claim to. But if it's something like that, then I will say, okay, well, I'll get back with you. I'll email you personally or whatever it might be said. So 2 times a month, you get a 2-hour Skype call with me and a small group of individuals who are serious about their music. And that goes on for the next 3 months. Yes, I was correct on that. You'll connect with others who are serious about making music, and it's a lot of fun, honestly. Each session is then concluded with everyone that's in that session being assigned homework, but hold on with me, it's not the boring kind. This is the kind that helps you put into practice everything that was taught in that session. So at the final session, you're going to have a song to show for it, and we will all collaborate on a song together so you get to see what a collaboration effort might look like. So what all is included? You get my Compression Simplified course. This is a $47 value. You learn how to use advanced compression techniques to shape your audio to fit into a mix. I also give you a copy of the Ultimate Cakewalk by BandLab tutorial course. This is a $97 value that's currently being sold on the Pro Mix Academy. However, even if you don't own Cakewalk, this course is going to be awesome for you because session module 10 is 10 modules within that same module that basically breaks down everything from an idea all the way to a finished song, releasing that song for the world to hear. Regardless of what DAW you use, that will be useful for you as well. And then you get my Creating a Song Step-by-Step 2.0 video course. This is not anywhere else but for sale through here and through my online store. So that's a $47 value. You literally follow along as I take an idea that's in my head, flesh it out, make it a full-blown production, send it off for the world to hear again. So that's at least 2 songs. So each one of these, the Cakewalk course as well as the Creating a Song Step-by-Step, you actually get 2 songs there that you can mix along with me. You can add them to your portfolio, and if that's something that you wanted to do, and that will help you as well for getting clients later. So also, you get an EQ cheat sheet, a Pro Start template for Cakewalk, a 15-step mixing guide. You get PDF guides for every single one of the modules that's within the Cakewalk course, 5 video conference calls, and a song collaboration opportunity. Likewise, if you sign up right now, and I'm going to post a link in the chat, if you sign up for the Rocket Fuel bundle right now, during this stream, I will also get you a coffee cup, a Home Studio Simplified coffee cup that you can then drink your coffee along with me as we're chatting on Skype. So let's hear what some others are saying. Actually, some of them are here in the chat. He says, Zed says, I went from writing a song once a month. I went from writing a song once every 3 months, if I was lucky, to creating 5 songs in the course of a couple weeks. That's Zed for you. He was in the first round of this. Jurgen says, until I took the course, he'd never produced a song of his own. He had ideas, but they never took shape. However, by the 3rd session, I had a song of my very own. Let me go to the, so you can actually read these for yourself. And you can see that I'm not just making this stuff up. These are actual comments. These are not stuff that I'm making up. And Chris is in the chat, so he can tell me, yes, I really did say that. The homework, this is 𝗷𝗍𝗍. He actually tuned in from Israel. He says, the homework really helped me to solidify my learning by forcing me to put into practice what was already covered. I was challenged the whole time to become better, and Robert made it fun. All right, so Chris Knoll says, the material is not earth-shattering or even some new gimmick. Robert covers simple, practical ways to take what is already in a person and draws it out, refines it, and shows you how to take advantage of the talents you already own. Okay, so let's talk about how this is all going to play out, because the doors are only open for October only. So there's only 18 days left to sign up for this, for one, or 10 members. Right now we have the slots are filling up fast, so you need to get in there while you still can. There's only a few slots left. When this hits 10 members, the doors are also going to close. So it could close before the end of October, but it's going to start the first week of November, around the same time that we're doing our 10K celebration. So once the doors are closed, though, that's it. You can't come back later and say, hey, I've got the money now, I can do this. Don't worry, though, I have made it possible for you to hop on even if you don't have the money right now. So let's talk about some general questions that people have. The first one was, what happens if you can't make a session? Let's say we schedule a session for that day. We've all agreed on a session. Something comes up. No big deal. All the sessions are recorded. They're shared with you in a group. And so anything that you miss can be caught up on your own time. And if you'd like to go back and recap, you can always do that as well with those videos. And those are always going to be there. Those are evergreen. You can always go back to them and hang out again if you'd like. So due to the price, is there a payment plan option for this? Yes, I have created a 2-payment plan and a 3-payment plan. So if the 2-payment won't even work, you can actually stretch that out to 3 payments, and that averages out to, I believe it's $77 a month. The 2-payment plan is like 2 payments of 100 something. And then what if I've never made a song at all? Can I still benefit from this? Yes, this is for you. As long as you have musical abilities and creativity, you're going to be a great fit for this. The next question I get is, do I need a bunch of fancy plugins or equipment? Nope. All you need is what you already use to make music. If I'm not comfortable in a group session, can I schedule a private one-on-one session? I'd rather do this in a group session because that's going to be the most beneficial for all. However, if you want to do private sessions, we can set those up at an additional cost. Now, the biggest question I get is, do I have to be using Cakewalk by BandLab to get something out of this? Absolutely not. The methods that I'm going to be teaching are applicable to any DAW on the planet. So if you want to reserve your spot now, I've posted the link here in the chat. I'm going to be pinning that up to the top so you'll only see that. Go and check it out. You don't have to sign up for it. Whenever you hit that little button there, it says reserve your own spot now. That's not going to, all it does is just simply take you to this page here where it shows you the pricing and your ways that you can pay for that. So it's not going to immediately take money from your bank account or anything crazy like that. But it just shows you the price and how you can pay for that. Now, if you pay for it through that link, though, you're going to have to pay the full $197 upfront today. However, on the page here, you'll also see that I have these two highlighted. This is the page that it's going to take you to. That link will. I have highlighted here the 2-payment plan and the 3-payment plan. You can click on those, and then you can actually go in there and set that up there. And that is right through PayPal. It comes out twice, and then you don't ever get billed again. It loses your information. It's completely legit. So if that's something that you're interested in, it's called the Rocket Fuel Mixing Bundle for a reason. People have got mad, crazy results with that. If it's something that you want to get involved with, I would definitely recommend you to sign up if you're a music producer. All right. So we're going to go through some of these comments here real quickly. And if you have any questions before we end today's live stream, we'll go ahead and take some questions. I'm going to be hopping on with David Glenn from David Glenn Recording here in just a minute to do an interview with him. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to be hopping on with him here at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That won't be live, but I will be posting that later if you guys want to check that out. So, all right, let's see what aha moments that everyone kind of got from this. 𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗏 says, the only plugin I've ever bought was Melodyne. Sounds cheap, but learning the stock stuff first. No, yeah, no problem with that. Melodyne's an awesome plugin, by the way. Midnight Blue Movie says he liked the automation of the vocal delay effects. Awesome. Automation of vocal delay. Never heard of that. Awesome. Yeah, definitely want to do that because it just keeps things out of the way until they need to be there. The short, medium, long reverbs was a worthy thing to learn. Awesome. Chris says he automates all of his delays. Oh, Chris talking about the Rocket Fuel mixing bundle. He says he really enjoyed it. Helped him to be more focused. And as far as his testimonial, he says, yes, I really did say that. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that, buddy. That's good for individuals to know that I'm not just pulling these out of thin air, but they're actual people who are in the bundle who got something from it. So, by the way, if you've got something from today's show, thank you so much. We will be closing down here in just momentarily, but before we get to that, there's something that we do here on the channel all the time that we got to do. You know what's coming up. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Wheel of Awesomeness. Let's spin the wheel and see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a tutorial request. All right, by way of the chat, leave something here in the chat that will be a request for a tutorial that Robert could do in the near future. If you have something like maybe you wanted me to cover that I haven't covered yet, you can request that now, and I will get that on the radar as something that needs to be done. Likewise, if you're in the chat and you have a question, anything audio related, you can do that now. And for the next 10 to 15 minutes, we will go through and see what we can answer. All right, let's give some quick shout outs while you guys are coming up with some tutorial video requests. Jamie has recently followed the Facebook page. 𝗏𝗏 has also followed the page, as well as Sturrock, Chris, Renee, John C. That's probably John Cena. I knew he was following the page. He's become a recent subscriber to the channel. Thank you. And 𝗚cie heç𝗁𝗏 has recently followed the Facebook page, as well as 𝗵𝘃 has become a subscriber. Joseph Baker and Jose Quintino Venezuela has also been. Sorry, I'm butchering that, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about up in here. All right, so any tutorial video requests, let it be made known now. Any questions, let them be made known now as well. All right. Good session. Got to work. I get it, man. No problem. Okay. As usual, the live chat screen is broken. Gonna have to get that fixed. All right. Well, I'm going to assume I don't see a lot of comments coming in. I'm going to a tutorial on sidechain compression and why we need to do it. Okay. I've actually done that quite a bit here on the live mix sessions. I'm not saying that I won't do that. But with that being said, if you'd like to go and check out some other videos that I have produced here on the channel, especially live ones. In fact, I'll just post a link to that now. A lot of the live mix togethers I have actually done sidechain compression on. So, with that being said, oh, here we go. So let's share this playlist here. All right. Impulse responses. Right on. So essentially, just a real quick explanation for those of you who may not know, but an impulse response is basically a sound capture of maybe an amp sound, a room sound, a specific noise, whatever it might be. They take that, they then take that sound capture and create a sample of that, which can basically be loaded into an impulse response reader, which then basically makes a reverb out of that. Super cool. It can make your acoustic guitar sound really good too, by the way. All right. If there are no other questions, we're going to go ahead and end today's show on a high note. Remember, there is a giveaway that's going on. Link is in the description, as well as if you'd like to get in on the HSS song contest, which is where this song came from. You can do that with the link in the description as well. Super simple. It's got all the rules lined out for you of what, you know, can and can't be submitted, as well as a place to upload it right to that file. So go and check that out as well. All right. Until next time, guys, remember that we can dream alone, we can create alone.